Welcome to the 5th Annual Celebrity Golf Classic from New York Sportscene Children's Foundation at the beautiful Stonebridge. And I'm here with the president of New York Sportscene Children's Foundation, FRAN Petitto. Fran, how do you feel getting ready for the big gala tonight?
It's always amazing, Helen, and I'm so grateful that you're always here for us all these years. You're our official videographer as of today. We're really excited about this year. We're honoring Ray Negron of the New York Yankees as a secret surprise. We're also honoring our founder, Michael J. Cutino, for being such a wonderful person, allowing us to do this every day, and to have partners like you to work with.
Thank you so much, Fran. Now, tell everybody, what are some of the things that New York Sportscene Children's Foundation does throughout the year for children?
Okay, well, getting ready right now, we have the back-to-school program, so we supply a lot of shelters, underprivileged children, also the Head Start programs. We supply backpacks and all the supplies so that they get a good year off as a Head Start. We also do a holiday party. We have Eva and John Pappas that are very gracious to allow us to use their space. We open up a free thrift store, and last year we were able to serve over 650 families there, and we had 9 parties at shelters, so we served almost 1,300 children in the Long Island community. So that's very special because the community comes out and helps. My teen ambassadors come, and they are the personal shoppers for families that can't afford to do this, and the families pay nothing.
Right. Now, Ray Negron is with the New York Yankees, and their focus is also on visiting children in hospitals, etc. So now, don't you think that it's a good pairing between New York Sportscene Children's Foundation, because you do so much for children, and the New York Yankees are known to do a lot for children? So how did you focus in on Ray Negron?
Well, actually, Ray Negron was an honoree by our last year's honoree, Steve CASTLETON, and Ray has a very unique story. Not only is he a humanitarian, but he came from the wrong side, doing the wrong stuff. He got caught doing it, and luckily he had a mentor in Steinbrenner and really brought him up the ranks. But the good thing is that he learned the lesson. He gives back every day. He goes to hospitals. He's an author. He has many children's books out, and it's just a great synergy when you can recognize people that stand up and do the right thing for children without pay, without being asked, and truly from their heart. That's what our organization is about, doing things from the heart.
Now, you had a beautiful day to go golfing. How many carts went out today? How many people were on the green?
We had 45 carts out today. It was a sold out. It was a great day, terrific weather, thank God. Usually we are not so lucky. We've got some great sponsors, Windows on the Lake, Texas Roadhouse. They always come through. Stonebridge does a phenomenal job. They're just amazing to deal with. And the staff here, and they're always very courteous. And we'll be back for a Heart of an Angel Award dinner. We're coming back here in February.
That's terrific. Yeah, and we want to give a shout out to Paul Sequins Ferguson, who just became a grandpa today, right?
That's right. And he will not only be performing with my husband John today, as he does all the time. He is a true friend of our foundation and has always been there. We work with his organization, Yes We Care, supporting veterans, and really...
If someone wants to find out more about New York Sportscene Children's Foundation, do you have a website?
Absolutely. It's NYSCFkids.org. You can go there, see what we do, who we help, and how you can get involved.
Thank you, Fran.
It's my pleasure. Great to have you here again, honey.
Great to be here.
Thank you, Fran. I would like to thank all the people that helped put this event together. This wouldn't be done if it wasn't for Fran. She runs my whole organization. She watches my back 24/7. And I'm a Mason, I'm a Shriner, and During the Shrine Club, we have the head guy, Robert DiCARLO, who's here. He's on the board of directors of, of the Philadelphia Shriners. And if you should ever have a child in need that needs a hand, an arm, a leg, a burn victim, you would contact Fran, who would contact me, and this guy will sign the papers, and 100% of the care will be done by the Shriners till kids 18 years old. So the power is there from the Shriners. Thank you. The Masons has this award, and there's 6 million Masons in the world today, and they had an opportunity to nominate a person for this award. So as a fluke, I put in Fran's name, and for some reason, she won the Dewitt Clinton Award, which is the highest award for somebody helping the Shriners Children's Hospital. And I'm going to introduce Robert DiCarlo, who told me about this award from the Shriners, and this came down from the main office. And it's something to be proud of for the rest of your life. This is big time. Robert, come on up. Robert is the co-lead of the Shriners. He's the head guy from Long Island. He's also on the board of directors for Shriners Children's Hospitals, and he is in the Philadelphia Hospital, right?
Yes. What happened is the Masons for many years gave out a lot of awards to different people, and they found out that there were people out there that deserved awards that maybe weren't Masons. And they came up with this Dewitt Clinton Award many years ago. And they probably give about 4 or 5 out in the state every year. And Fran's name came up for the work that she does. And it's a humanitarian award. It's not just for people that give to Masons or Shriners. It's a person that gives to everybody, for the children of tomorrow. And that's what it's all about. So I present the Dewitt Clinton Award to her, and I would ask everybody to get up and give her a round of applause for the work that she does for humanity.
I'm here right now with Bigtime Tommie and Vinny Dice. Isn't this going to be a terrific night, Tommie?
Absolutely. Putting this whole thing together, Mike Cutino's been doing it for 5 years now, and it's to benefit children.
The New York Sportscene Children's Foundation,
Yes.
5th Annual Golf
Fifth
Classic.
annual.
Tuesday nights, Vinny Dice, Bigtime Tommie Show. It's on the Vinny Dice Ruggiero page. Follow us on Tuesdays, and you'll laugh.
Yeah.
How you doing? My name is Dave Malazzi. I'm an Iraq War veteran. I was in Iraq 2006. I was medevaced out of there after a 30-minute seizure, and I was medically discharged 2007. I started playing piano when I was around 10 years old. My mother kind of forced me to play. She was into art and theater and dance. She used to own a hair salon back in the day in Huntington, and there was a piano, a white baby grand piano in the window, and a guy named Billy Joe used to come in once in a while and play. And she always said, well, if I have a son, I would like him to play like you. And then I ended up learning. I was one of the main pianists I ended up learning on. She donated to the church, but I play all the time for the church. And so I've been playing ever since. And before I went to the war, when I was at Camp Pendleton, I got my address in the war, and I mailed a keyboard in a case to myself. And so when I got there, the sergeant major was not happy because you're in a war zone. But he's like, what are you going to do with the piano in a war zone? I said, well, I'm going to play for the Wounded Marines at the field hospital. And so long story short, that went very well. I would do it at nighttime, and so I ended up helping out a lot of wounded Marines, and seeing that once guys got wounded, didn't have all the proper care, I would get supplies like Robin Hood and get them over to the field hospital at nighttime when I played for them, and they came to me for the Stars and Stripes because they needed, I guess, some popular story for the war, since the war wasn't too popular in 06, and so that's what happened with that. And I wasn't looking for any kind of fame. I just did it. I saw what I could do with the piano, and then from there I was able to help out many wounded Marines and soldiers. But I still play. I play at the nursing home in Northport, VA, and I'm like a full-time volunteer, and part-time they pay me whatever they want me at a certain time. And then I also play at the Northport VA in Northport. So I enjoy to play for veterans and also play at the nursing homes. And I play a lot on Facebook Live, and it's something I enjoy to do. So hopefully I can play a song for you.
When Mike and Fran asked me who I thought should be the Hero Award for this year, I mean, instantaneously I just said Ray. I met Ray, oh God, we were both a lot younger. My hair was darker, his hair was about the same. He had just come out with his book. I had helped him publicize his book, The Boy of Steel. And right off the bat with him, his book became a top 10 New York Times bestseller. And it was all over the place. But what does he do? He says, hey, take a couple cases of the book. I don't want to bring them over. I don't want to make a big deal about it. Bring them over to the children's ward at Good Sam Hospital. And I always remembered that. And a big thing I always remembered with him is that no matter all the different things he's done, all the mayors he met, all the politicians, all the Yankee stars that all of us would go crazy meeting, he's still the same person. He hasn't changed a bit in all those years. And I think a lot of it has to do with something I remember. George Steinbrenner, when the Yankees were winning all those pennants in the 70s, somebody asked, one of the reporters said, Mr. Steinbrenner, how does it feel with all the power you have? And you know what his comment was? Best part about power is being able to do things for people who need it. And that's one of the things about Ray. I mean, somebody needs something. Ray is always there, very quietly, the Yankee way. Does it behind the scenes.
I am here now with Ray Negron, who is the community consultant for the New York Yankees. Ray, it's so wonderful to see you here tonight.
Great to see you. I'm always happy to attend these functions and try to put in my 2 cents.
Yes, and Ray is being honored tonight. He's our hero. Do you think of yourself as a hero?
Never. I think of the kids as heroes because, in essence, you know, I just love the kids, and I think that we owe it to them to show them the right way, the right path to making. They're the reason why the world can become a better place.
Right. And sometimes with a little bit of intercession, somebody that's gone the wrong way can go the right way. Tell everybody your story about you and Steinbrenner.
Well, 1973, I was outside Yankee Stadium with a couple of other guys, and we were doing graffiti on one of the walls when all of a sudden somebody says, look out, a car drives right on the sidewalk, 2 guys jump out, everybody scatters, I trip, I'm caught, and I'm put in a holding cell, all set to be sent to the 44th precinct. After being in the cell for about 15 minutes or so, all of a sudden the guy that caught me came back and said, give me the kid. And they grabbed me, they dragged me to what ended up being the Yankee locker room, and next thing you know, they're handing me a uniform, and that night I was the bat boy for the New York Yankees, and the man that caught me was none other than George Steinbrenner.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And that changed your life, didn't it?
Well, listen, I ended up spending like 38 years with the man up until the day that he died, and you know, he always put it into my head that I was somebody, that I belonged, that I was special. You know, these are the things that he always threw at me when people were trying to knock me down and belittle me for whatever the situation or whatever the reason. He always picked me up and made me feel like I was somebody.
Yeah. And how important is that to have somebody feel that way about you when you might not feel that way about yourself, right?
Well, that's why to this day I try my best to talk to people, to talk to the kids, and let the kids know that they're special and that they're the reasons why this world can be a better place.
Yeah. Now, the New York Yankees is very big on visiting children in hospitals and doing good for the youth, right? Now, they also have a baseball team, don't they, for the youth?
Well, the Yankees get involved with a little bit of everything, and that's something that started with Babe Ruth. Okay, and you can look it up. No one has ever photographed more with kids than Babe Ruth. I mean, that meant so much to him, and I've done the research, and that was a big influence on my life for the aspect of that, and Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig, and the fact that George Steinbrenner was always doing what he did for me. He did for so many countless others.
Now, you're also an author, an award-winning author, bestseller. So tell us something about your books.
It's something, again, I was influenced by the great George Steinbrenner from the fact that, hey, tell your story. Let the people know that, you know, what you became, and that if you can make it, others can make it. And so I ended up writing my books, and I got lucky, and the book ended up my first book ended up becoming a bestseller. And then when someone said that it was a fluke, Mr. Steinbrenner made me do another book, and I actually,
No fluke there.
you know, and I came back and we hit #1, and then the next one hit again, and the fourth one hit again, and
Yeah. And you're also a movie producer. You have an animated film about a boy with cancer, right?
I have an animated film that I did with all of my Hollywood buddies like Richard Gere, Chaz Palminteri, Danny Aiello, Cyndi Lauper. I mean,
Yeah, the voices, right?
they all did the voices.
Wonderful. You know what's very intriguing? Now, in the Argyle Theater, right in Babylon, you had a play about your life, right? Is that Bat Boy?
It's called Bat Boy, and it stars like people like Charlie Santoro from the Yes Network, and we even have Nick Singh, who's a young kid who in essence has become
Kieran Sheehan.
Kieran, you know, a great opera singer, Phantom of the Opera,
Fabulous, yes.
right? So
That's
you know,
so good.
we've been blessed.
Are you going to be bringing that back? Because I would love to see
It
that.
will be October 27th. We are back at the Argyle. We are going to, and then we're going to Broadway next year.
Good for you.
You know, we're going to be doing it at a theater on 47th and 8th. And we're, as of right now, we're booked for 3 shows with an option for a 4th.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Phenomenal.
So if somebody wanted to get in touch with you or find out more, how could they help? How could they visit the children? How do they get a hold of you?
Number one, go to Instagram, because I every single day I post and I let people know A, B, or C. And I also, you can find me on batboyhelps.com. Or you can find Bat Boy. Just punch up Bat Boy Ray Negron, and you'll find, you will locate me. I'm easy to find.
Thank you so much, and congratulations on your award tonight from New York Sportscene Children's Foundation.
So I'm hearing this, and I'm like, that's Negron, that is Ray. It's all about the kids, and it's all about helping the people. So it's a great thing what Mike has done, and then you look at Ray, realizing him being a Yankee, how much he could really do for people. I mean, it's like the line from Star Trek, we want to go where no one has gone before. He could take you there.
Anyway, that night, Mr. Sinatra really got on my case, because he told me that 20 years earlier, and this is 1977, 76, But he told me that 20 years earlier, he went through the same thing with Sammy Davis Jr. because they wouldn't let Sammy go through the front door in Vegas. And when he was performing at those hotels, Sammy had to stay at the other side of town. And then Sinatra finally stood up and said, no, you want me, you're going to take him, and he's going to walk in through the front door. Yeah, I was a Yankee bat boy, but the abuse that I had to take initially was so painful that sometimes I wouldn't even show up. And between Billy and the great George Steinbrenner, it was always about calling me and saying, get your ass back in the ballpark. To say it was painful, it was really painful, it was hard. But when they made me see the light, and they made me understand that there was a reason why I was there. And I always used to ask George Steinbrenner, why did you do that for me? And I used to say to him, because the two guys that I was with, both one was shot and killed, and the other one died of AIDS because he was shooting up Bat and Dirty Needle. And then there was me. And I also had two other brothers who lived most of their life in prison. And George Steinbrenner used to say, I once said to him, thank you for saving my life. Thank you for saving my life. And he used to say, I didn't save your life. Your story was already told when I met you. Thank you very much. And remember that, hey, like he just said, I'm just proud to be an American. That means more to me than anything in the world. Thank you very much. Oh, one last thing. One last thing. In my table over here, these people are all a part of my play Bat Boy, okay? And they have become a part of my family, you know, and I want them all to stand up because they do this out of the goodness of their heart, and all the money goes to charity. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. All right? And we're doing the show again October the 27th. We've been doing it for over a year all over the country. And we're doing it again in Babylon, October the 27th, at the Argyle Theater,
We're presenting Ray as our 2019 Hero Award. You're a hero? Without the glasses, I can't see. To our veterans, our military, law enforcement, and first responders, your lifetime of philanthropy, outstanding dedication, and service make you, Ray Negron, our hero. Congratulations. Tom Festa, would you please come up? Denise Sturm, would you also come up? Christine Nolan. Dr. Guy and Andrea Furno, please come up. Monica Price, please come up. Olivia Price, please come up. Nicolette Furno, please come up. Karen Feldman, please come up. Victoria Van Nostrand. Eva Pappas. Mikey Burt. Ed on. If you can all come to the front of the podium here. Helen, if you can come up too. So, everybody thanks me and everybody always says I do all the work. These are the people that do the work. However, there's somebody here that we would not be able to do what we do without. So for everybody in the room, if you're not standing in the front, please stand as we recognize our founder, Mike Cutino. The New York Sportscene Children's Foundation honors its founder, Michael J. Cutino. You are our guardian angel. You are a mentor and a true friend. You inspire us to be better. From our hearts, your board, staff, and volunteers.
I want to thank you everybody for coming, and we have a special day today because we have 3 birthdays today. The 3 special people that are part of the foundation. One is Anthony Pellegrino. Anthony, where are you? Happy birthday. The next one is Mike Greenberg. Mike, where are you? Happy birthday. Come on up here. Come on up here. His birthday is Wednesday, but we're going to celebrate today. We got a little present with and we have a birthday to Sal Valentetti, who's going to be 24 today. Now let's all sing a song to Sal instead of him singing to us. Let's sing him a happy birthday. Ready? For everybody. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, Sal.